it's just the game in itself has so much to develop still.
Absolutely. I mean, bringing the words "everyone is here" to like the absolute best meaning that it can be. Literally everyone you can think of in a video game is either here or referenced as like a spirit or like a spirit board or something like that. I think they put it like in the last direct just how many characters were represented. It was like
it was insane.
Like, it was like over 1,000. It's ridiculous.
Like you know, obviously not being able to get every single character in the game for some people, it's not gonna happen. You know, like I got pretty spoiled with the fact that I got Sephiroth and Square Enix, like just in general with Cloud, Sora coming. Didn't get Master Chief, but like at the same time, how can I complain when I have all this other stuff? But the fact that they even did things like doing the full Mii costumes for.
Doom Guy?
What was that? Doom Guy,
yes.
For example. And then all the other ones that dropped. Cuphead, Bomberman, who got hit twice between the assist trophy and that. Like, there's a lot of things. But right now, we're going to be seeing the Queens put in that work to start off the one. We got Zelda versus Princess. They may, I was about to say, they may be princesses, but they are queens getting ready to establish dominance. Zelda versus Peach to start things off this morning.
All right, so we got Jdizzle versus Royalty, and I mean,
I like it too. The name Royalty as well. Okay.
Yes, wear that crown high. Wear that crown high. So as you said, Zelda versus Peach, and right now, I mean, Zelda is pretty much known for doing just a couple things, which is hanging out with that Phantom, kind of setting up that wall, and using that Naru's Love whenever you get close. But Peach is known for a few things. This character is pretty multifaceted, but the combo game is out of this world.
Yeah, one of the things with Peach, too, we've talked about in the past is how good she is at establishing shield pressure, but Naru's Love right there is a great out-of-shield option to check those downers on shield, and the Phantom is also really good at checking float. So far, even though we saw Royalty get a pretty decent start with the damage, Jdizzle immediately entered back by getting a few of those out-of-shield options.
And right now, Royalty starting to tee off with those turn-ups. I'm loving how they're using those to get a lot of pressure off stage, but sneaking right through there, Jdizzle does with the forward smash.
Yeah, that went very left, too, so I don't know if that was a little bit assisted DI, but that is a very strong forward smash. So now you have to watch off stage, because I already saw that Jdizzle was willing to go out there with dares, but we see some really good ledge shopping right now, coming in with the turn-up, trying to maybe find a back air or up air. Unfortunately, not getting the hit, J-Dog.
Yeah, I'm liking what Jdizzle's doing with the recovering from the ledge, jumping high, because as fast Peach moves in like little short burst instances, she's actually pretty slow in terms of airspeed and ground speed. So when you're in close, that's when you're in trouble. When you get farther away, you can get tagged, or you don't really get tagged, just like Jdizzle did with that back air right there.
Yeah, and we're seeing both of them just kind of like, there's not a good respect going out. A lot of these Naru's Love, it's a solid reflector, but you can't do it too much because eventually it's going to get baited by Royalty. You see you kind of walking up. Yeah, I think that would have still snapped ledge, so that was smart going out with that dare. Keeping this pressure up. Is that a stitch? That is definitely a stitch. Luckily for Royalty, it went the wrong way.
Yeah, that could have turned sour very quickly. So now, I mean, Royalty just kind of hanging out, trying to reestablish some control, because what I'm liking what they're doing is just icing a little bit.
Yep.
Icing, making sure that, you know, you don't really gives out an opportunity, and all those early morning jitters. You can't afford to give that up, especially this early in the morning, especially when it was close enough before, but now Peach with that low % damage potential, this can turn sour really fast.
Yeah,
especially when you air dodge off stage, you're okay though.
Yeah, you know, I think that was one of those just really quick. I got to air dodge, get out of here. But you can see, okay, there my RNGs is showing up this morning too. Throwing this out in a way, not trying to have it maybe bounce back and cause issues, but Royalty's doing an excellent job now with the lead. Really just kind of floating in place, backing off and waiting for baits, because instead of fully committing and going right at Zelda, who loves when you swing at her kind of with reckless abandon, Royalty's doing an excellent job of waiting for the moves to come first and then swing later.
Yeah, patience is a virtue, and is looking like a virtuous leader right here, because Peach is looking strong, ready to take the stock away. If Jdizzle keeps on giving up stage control like that, they have to sit center stage and, yes, throw out some haymakers like that, getting the Dinge Fire in there to take away the stock. Southern bleeding just a bit, and actually Jdizzle opening up huge with some damage, 42% right off the bat.
Yeah, this is where things get super scary. Well, I mean, it wouldn't have been scary anymore if you decided to land on top of that. Royalty at 42% cannot be comfortable until you hit the back air like that, and now they get to be very comfortable with that first game lead.
I'm wondering if Jdizzle enters some like other games, because that DI, like I was commentating Brawl yesterday, and I saw everyone DIing wrong. Like people were dying and exploding to like random things that they shouldn't. I think like 686M was the only one who was DIing everything appropriately, but like that back air had no business killing. I think the forward smash earlier would have been close, but like with appropriate DI, that would have been it.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that earlier too, like you were just saying with that forward smash. But maybe like, it could just be part of early on, not really having the best reactions to everything in the morning, kind of getting things going. But one thing that I will say though is that after Royalty was getting away with a lot of really good baits that we talked about before with the movement kind of floating in place, Peaches love doing that. They love getting you to play silly, and it gets a lot of data out of the opponent. Jdizzle actually found the opportunities. I will say though, off the rip, I don't agree with this switch, mostly because of the fact that Lucas struggles pretty hard to get in consistently against Peach while they have a turn up in hand. If Royalty plays the matchup correctly, it's really hard for Lucas to get in. But who knows? Maybe Jdizzle has something behind this pick, and we'll see a pretty good counter pick.
Right now, though, that's not the opening you want. I mean, Peach kind of does that to everyone, but when you get that on Lucas, a character who can be kind of slippery, now your game plan's already falling apart early on in 94-0. And okay, get a bit of damage right there. But, I mean, it's not looking great for Jdizzle, especially when you attack Peach's shield from behind. That's a free back air any day of the week.
That's so funny. That's going straight at it's like, coming to you! Like, I fear nothing. I don't care about this ledge trap. Getting the parries, though, Jdizzle had a couple spots where you saw that he was kind of waking up while playing from behind. It can work, especially with a good ledge trap like down smash. That ledge can catch a Peach off guard because most of the people don't want to challenge Peach off stage. She's incredible at reverse edge guarding.
Yep. And when you try and challenge her on stage, sometimes you just run into that back air. Those hips don't lie, baby. And taking away that stock. And, I mean, Royalty, standing tall, stand like a queen. But, like, I don't think Jdizzle's quite out of it yet. I think the early morning nerves are having a huge impact here.
I think a big thing with Jdizzle, too, is that we haven't seen anything that's really established fear into wanting to short hop float from Royalty. You got to use short hop PK fires to check them, put them in shield, make it so they don't move around a bunch. Because when you try to do those short hop zairs, it's kind of hard to get in. But gets a couple openings, smacks with the forward smash. That is better than some of the swordsmen in the game, by the way. And baits out, puts himself right in a perfect position that made it look like, hey, you can punish my PK freeze on get up attack. I'm out of range, though, and gets the stock.
Yeah, I'm loving the adaptation so far, but now Royalty teeing off again. Gonna have to recover high here. Should be able to survive whatever comes, and nothing comes. And yep, actually great parry right there by Royalty. That move does hit slightly behind, so if you get caught slipping on that last hit, it's some rough goings. Speaking of rough goings, though, that turn up is going to be one of the death knolls for Jdizzle. Jdizzle. You've got to stop rolling in, man. That is like between the last few games, that's maybe the 5th or 6th. And usually I don't point that out until after a good point because, you got to mix up your defensive options. There's no mix up when you do it over and over again, though. And we see Royalty is just chilling there, waiting for it. And now because he's been hit maybe 3 or 4 times, he's probably going to neutral get up on the next interaction or maybe jump high just out of fear. And that's going to sketch up for a free punish. So now you're in a pretty scary spot here. Yeah, or just do it again. Just do it. The no mix-up mix-up. I was about to say the no mix-up mix-up is only powerful when you establish other mix-ups. But sometimes you can catch your opponent slipping. But at this point, I don't think it matters too much because it's going to be a hard recovery to swing on PS2. If you got that bounce, even still, you'd have to get the angle right. And there's just the pillar in the center, and underneath there's the other stage. And it's just so difficult to make that recovery at that point. So Royalty, I mean, taking that 2-0. Jdizzle looking a little bit lost in that early morning. But hey, we're just getting started. You got to wrap up those engines sometimes. You still got the bracket of alternative success. Could be the loser run of a century. You never know. You never know. Everyone's got potential this early on.
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to point out, too, is that whenever you happen to be somebody, obviously there's definitely some things that could be worked on. Like that downer right there, it definitely seems, hey, I see red, I can snipe a stock. But you actually don't have stage positioning because of that, because it's going to be pretty hard to actually get to ledge. So sometimes it's worth to actually just go to stage, get stage position, force a ledge guard, or a ledge trap. But one of the things that we definitely saw was a couple of defensive mishaps. And if you happen to go back and watch this, I hope that you catch on these things, adjust, and we'll see you perform better in the future.